Love between people almost always has its complications because people are complicated. Love can be tried and tested and stretched to its limits. Sometimes we love the wrong person. We can love too much or not enough. We can feel it but not know how to show it. We can think love is enough when actually it isn't. We can struggle to find it or be unsure if we have found it or not. And sometimes we think it's still there, but we can feel it ebbing away and not know how to restore it to its full glory. So how do you actually do it? How do you get it right and make it last and keep it fresh? It may be a basic human instinct, but it's not that easy. We keep messing it up. Relationships fail. Friends let us down. Family isn't there when we need them. Hello there, you are welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 rules to finding love from the book The Rules of Love by Richard Templar. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video too. Now let's get into it. Rule 1. Be yourself. Isn't it so tempting to reinvent yourself when you meet somebody new that you actually really like? You want to try to be the kind of person you think they are looking for, which isn't actually maybe the ideal you. You try to become strong and silent and mysterious, making jokes at inappropriate moments, and you just try to want this person to like you, so you try to fake it. You see, if you fake it, you attract someone who belongs to somebody who isn't you. And how would that help? Somewhere out there is someone who's looking for somebody exactly like you with your flaws and your failings, and they want somebody like you. And he says that, and those people won't even see those flaws and failings as flaws and failings, but actually as unique parts of you. And so be yourself. Don't try to reinvent yourself or try to become who you are not because you have met somebody you like. Rule 2. You won't be happy with a partner until you can be happy on your own. He says there are people, as soon as a relationship ends, they are hopping onto another one because they don't like the thought of being alone. There are people who cannot be alone, and so they force themselves into relationships, and sometimes they are forced to stay in those relationships because they cannot be alone. And so he says if you do not find a way to be happy on your own and be secure in your own skin, then you'll be forced to be in unhappy relationships. And most people are doing that. Find a way to find happiness. Find a way to be happy on your own, to be happy with your own thoughts and so many things, so that you will not be forced to stay at places you do not want to be there or you have no business being there. Rule number 3. Choose someone who makes you laugh. He says that this point is very important, that if you choose somebody because of their looks or their status or even for their personality, you could eventually regret it. He says a lot of those things can change or can get lost, with time. Even personality traits can change. A confident person can be shattered through emotional trauma. A patient person can become frustrated through sickness and pain. A sense of humor can last you long after everything is gone. He says if you find someone who makes you laugh, like really laugh more than everyone else, you should marry them. He says you are almost guaranteed to admire them because anyone who can make you laugh is hugely attractive. Rule 4. Certain people are off limits. You know who they are. Would you have an affair with your sister's boyfriend? How about your best friend's husband or wife? One of your in-laws? How about a person who is married? Would you embark on a brief fling with someone vulnerable who you knew was expecting this to be a serious relationship and could get very hurt? Where do you draw the line? He says as a person, you should have integrity enough to know that certain people are off limits. Even if you have fallen heels over head in love with them, find a way to avoid them and find a way to draw the line. You should have integrity enough to know that no matter what happens, you cannot date this kind of person or this person. Rule 5. You can't change people. Do you want me to repeat this point again? He says you can't change people, assuming you are a naturally tidy person, somebody who cannot walk away until everywhere is clean and tidy and neat. And you find somebody who is very messy, like the person cannot be comfortable unless everywhere is a mess and cluttered and all those kind of things. Would you change yourself to be messy because you want to keep them or you want to make them happy? The fact is that you can't change people. Even if they wanted to change, sometimes they can't. You can probably modify your behavior a little, but you cannot force somebody to change. Even some people want to change, but they still cannot change themselves. And this is not just about being messy or tidy. Somebody who is football obsessed, you cannot force them to change. Some people are workaholics and you cannot change them. Others are shy and you cannot make them bold or confident. It's just a part of who they are. And so if you think you cannot be with somebody with these characteristics, don't start going out with them. That's what the author says, not me. Rule 6. You should know someone through all the seasons before you make any major decisions. We are all quite cautious about how much of ourselves we reveal to other people. And especially in a new relationship or even meeting someone new, we try to always present our positive parts to these people. You do it, I do it, everyone does. When you meet somebody, you want them to see your positive parts. And sometimes it takes time to get to know someone well. And the fact that you have met somebody in their positive season doesn't mean they are always positive. And that's why he's advising that get to know somebody through all the seasons of their life before you make any major decisions or commitments. Rule 7. If you can't trust them, you haven't got a relationship. Trust is an absolute essential between partners. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about being faithful or keeping to your promises or spending money within your limits or whatever it is. If you can't trust them, you can't be happy with them. He says other people find it difficult to trust people because of past relationships or things they have experienced in the past. But you have to learn to trust people before you can even start anything else with somebody. And so if you don't trust whoever you are with, then you have no business being in a relationship with them, because relationship is not only built on love but also built on trust. Rule 8. Don't play games. It's so tempting sometimes to think and say, let me just sit tight and see how long it takes him to call. You know, those kind of things. You want the person to probably meet your parents, and then you find a way to lie to them that, oh, my mom is going through an operation, would you come and see them? He says, don't play games. If you want to speak to the person, just call them. If you want them to meet your mom, just ask them too. Don't play games. Saying playing games can be dangerous and sometimes it can backfire. He says the only way to begin a relationship is the way you want it to be long term. And so if you don't want to spend years playing games, don't start it now. So sometimes we even want to test them. I won't tell him it's my birthday. Let me see if he remembers or not. You see him at a place where you are there. Okay, I won't tell him I'm here. Let me see if he will hit on someone or not. You know, those kind of things. He says, don't play games. You will just end up messing a lot of things up. Rule 9. Make sure you both have the same shared goals. So basically, he's saying that some conversations need to be had from the beginning. You don't wait until you are married with kids until you start having these types of conversations. It also doesn't mean you should start interrogating this person on your first date as soon as you meet them. What is this? What do you want? No, it's not an interrogation, but as time goes on, some conversations need to be had. Of course, things can change, people can change. Sometimes what you want in your 20s is not what exactly you want in your 30s. But it's still better to have these conversations than just not knowing what to do and just going out with this person because of their fun and other things. Rule 10. You can't make someone love you. He says it's possible this is one of the hardest things to accept when it comes to matters of the heart. You find the person you have been looking for all your life, and trouble is they haven't realized it. You people are meant for each other, all this, everything is just, but the person doesn't even love you. You cannot force them to change their feelings. You cannot force them to want to love you if they don't love you. And so always ensure the feeling is mutual. You know, I always share bonus tips, right? Here is a bonus tip for you. Be honest while you still have the chance. We all possibly have things in our lives that we are not proud of, that we don't want to be remembering it. We don't find pleasure in remembering those things. Part of our life, things probably you have done in the past that you don't want to, and if your life was a book, you would have just kept that chapter. But it's still part of you. And so this point says that be honest while you still have the chance. It doesn't mean when you meet someone newly, you go running to them to confess all that your life has been. But if you start something serious, as time goes on, there is a level of trust that you're supposed to be revealing parts of yourself to these people. And so be honest while you still have the chance. There are certain things you cannot keep away for the rest of your life. If they find out, you know that it's not going to be a pleasant situation. So be honest while you still have the opportunity. I hope you have enjoyed these 10 rules from the book The Rules of Love by Richard Templar. He actually shares so many of them, and I'll probably be making other parts, but I think you should get the book and read. It's such an easy read and really enjoyable. And I'll see you in my next videos. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash the like button. Share with somebody who needs this. Somebody who needs to see this before they go and mess this up for themselves. I'll see you later. Bye.